Joe's stunt that week was blow-up doll bed shopping. And here's what happened. When we thought of that one, we said, okay, that one came up. Let's figure out where we're going to do it. And we went through and looked at all the places that would be convenient for Joe to go and do. And the way, as Zane explained earlier, it was just going to be Joe going in with a blow-up doll not blown up. Because in our mind, you could blow up a blow-up doll like Superman trying to blow cold air out of someplace. One done.
Yep, done.
Not
Full.
very practical.
Yes.
And so he's going to go into the bed store and then look for a bed and say, hey, I'd like to try it out like I would at home. And then in our mind, the salesperson was going to walk away to help other customers or whatever. And then Joe would blow up the blow-up doll right there and start going at it, and he'd get kicked out, and it'd be awkward. The whole goal of any Joe stunt is primarily to make Joe awkward. And for the most part, we're successful with that.
And it for the most part went off, except for the fact that it took forever. What you didn't hear on that promo was it took forever for him to blow up that thing.
Right.
Meanwhile, there's two station personnel, one with a video camera, the other one was Loose Wendy and Dewey Cox. Kind of just leeching around this mattress. They're the only people in the store. It's 8 in the morning.
Because I'm sure the mattress store sees lots of people milling about 20-somethings, one with a camera.
A dude with a faux hawk and a girl who has no morals. And Joe at a mattress store.
Well, maybe for Wendy, her name's Loose Wendy, they might have believed she needed to really browse the mattresses.
I'm so comfy. I'm right at home.
So, we tried to, do the right thing. So we tried to find a mattress store that wasn't a client of our radio station at home. Yeah. And so we did that. And Joe did the stunt, and we aired it.
And we all heard what happened. The guy actually punched Joe in the arm and screamed him down. But it was awesome. It's perfect. That's how a stunt should go.
And we got lots of response from listeners saying, man, that was really funny. Joe said it was one of the most awkward things. Is that true, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the most awkward you've ever done.
Yeah,
I believe that.
He buried his head under his arm and went to it with the blow-up doll that was wearing a police officer's uniform and making an O face.
Pretended no one else was there. I just blacked out. I time traveled.
Well, turns out that while this mattress store wasn't an advertiser on our station, they did already commit to spending $25,000 this year on our sister station. And it never crossed our mind that that could be a problem.
No,
but they called the company and said, we will never advertise with anyone in your company ever again, and pulled the ads.
Yeah, because though we didn't give the name of the mattress company or the person who punched Joe, a worker of the mattress store was listening and said, hey, I heard you on the radio.
Yeah.
And then that's when he pieced the puzzle together.
We didn't identify him, but we sure made fun of him. We said that he had a crush on Joe, and he was hoping Joe was getting ready to sleep with him.
And we of course didn't know the guy, but we've got to paint a picture of somebody. And so the problem is he doesn't realize that of how it works. He thinks we really feel that way about him, even though we've never met him or ever laid eyes on him ever. He takes it really personal, this guy.
So Bodine, trying to do the right thing, we get together with the general manager and the sales manager, because as much as we like to screw around and have fun or anything like that.
Ultimately, we never want to hurt anybody. We'd like to make Joe awkward and uncomfortable and do something funny, and we thought we succeeded there, but apparently, this man is very upset, and we never intended for him to be a victim in this.
So we
and boy, did he feel victimized.
He did. He felt very violated.
You won't believe what this man said when we had our Sopranos sit down with Mr. Mattress.
Yeah. So,
you won't believe it. And as a footnote to this, we did videotape it, but had no intention of putting the video on the internet because we thought it would be too incriminating, but we always tape them just kind of like covertly.
Right.
And he knew that tape existed in his tracking down this when he was looking for his pound of flesh. But that video never surfaced.
No.
Ever.
He might as well have. He couldn't have been more convinced that it had been circulated. You'd think that we had showed it on Inside Edition that night on national TV.
He fabricated in his mind a story that it's the most viral video on YouTube when it in fact is sitting in Joe's glove box on the portable camera.
It's like people know more about that than Star Wars Kid or Tazon Day.
And we're like, dude, no. And we get a call on like the Friday. We're all sitting there watching Iron Man in the theater, and Joe's phone's ringing off the hook. Joe goes out to the lobby and picks it up. Hey, we got a problem. Mattress Man said the video leaked. We go. Joe goes, well, unless he has a magic wand and went abracadabra and pulled the camera out of my car, it's impossible. It can't. No, it did. Well, he's lying to you.
Yeah.
We're cracking up going into this place at how awesome this has gone to this point. And then we all went, okay, gear down.
Yeah.
Look like you're sad.
Don't forget to put your hands in your pockets, stare at your feet, and move your foot back and forth like you're moving dust around.
Yeah,
Kinda like
a little.
mister.
Kind of like when you're forced into going to a funeral for somebody who you have no idea who died.
Yeah.
Or like anyone who's there, but you're there to like support for someone who's going in a weird way.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, God, I'm so sorry that he's
this
gone.
is an awful day.
They wanted us to say sorry, but the way we wanted to say sorry was, sorry, you're such a baby about all this.
Yeah. Because
Sorry, your skin is thin.
and when
You'd think the stunt was called Producer Joe Waterboard a Mattress Salesman Challenge because this guy was so upset.
Oh.
And so the general manager, who had nothing to do with this, reaches out and says, hi, I'm Phil Catlett. I'm the general manager
This is our
of
boss.
Regent Broadcasting. This is the highest you can get for someone in our building without going to corporate
he's
or
a
whatever.
very nice man.
And this guy looks at his hand and puts his hands in his pockets and gives a look like, I don't care who you are.
Yeah. He looked at him and glared at him, and when actually you could hear harumph.
Yeah.
I will not shake your hand.
He left him hanging. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
And so then we all kind of introduced ourselves, and needless to say, we didn't even try to shake angry Mattress Martyr's hand. And we said, we just want to let you know that this wasn't intended to harm you. We didn't reveal your business or anything else. And he goes, well, the thing is, I have a very recognizable voice, and a lot of people knew me, and my wife works at a children's hospital, and people are coming up to her and saying, did a man make out with a blow-up doll on a bed at your husband's business? She shouldn't have to hear that at a children's hospital. And we're
That's
like,
the worst
if she
thing
worked
ever.
at a factory, this would be okay? Come on now.
Think of the children. How are they affected in all this?
There was one portion in the bit when we were in a fake fashion describing that man. Again, we've never seen this man. And when Joe was in the bathroom blowing up the blow-up doll, Joe said, I know, he's right outside the door. And then Freeber goes, yeah, he's a creep. He's probably licking the door handle. And then, so fast forward to this meeting, and Mr. Mattress Martyr goes, you said I was licking the door handle. And he goes, that's not funny. And we all go, yeah, it was. It's great.
Yeah, we're trying to go, you're right, sir. That is not funny.
That is not humorous at all.
Doorknob licking.
And the worst part is he said it and he pointed to the handle right in front of us. And once I saw the handle, I'm like, oh, that's funny because you wouldn't have licked that, but you might have. And so then he gave us this line. The mattress sales industry has a very bad rap anyway. And at this point, I know I'm thinking, what?
We go, it does?
I had never heard that. But anyway.
Never been leery of mattress buying before, but never even thought about it, actually.
I mean, 1 in 3 people, or 2 out of every 3 people who come into our store, which is hard enough to get them in here anyway, once they come in, it's too confusing to buy a mattress, and they just leave. And I'm like, what, 2 out of 3 people sleep on hay? Where do they go?
Yeah.
What do they do?
I mean,
I don't know anyone who doesn't have a mattress.
They're in a manger.
no, I mean,
Doesn't make any sense.
you either need a mattress or you don't.
It was as though we had said, hey, today, Joe, your stunt is to go out and protest the use of sleeping implements.
Yeah.
Let's try to shut down mattress
This guy was
stores.
so over the top.
Yeah, you would have thought his mattresses were cyanide-laced Tylenol because of us.
And then there came a point when he goes, yeah, well, I just think that this apology is because I'm an advertiser. And I go, yeah, pretty much.
Well, yeah, of course.
I said, yeah, I agree with you.
I wanted to say to him, I'm like, well, if somebody called to complain about their bed who didn't buy it from you, would you go to their house and tell them how sorry you were? No.
Oh, this guy just had no sense of humor whatsoever. He did not understand. And I've never met a person who was less understanding about anything.
And isn't it always the people who don't have a sense of humor who are the first one to say when they're angry, it's not like I don't have a sense of humor. Well,
Yeah.
it is.
No, that's true.
Yeah,
You have
you don't.
never laughed. You don't even have the right muscles
And
for
then,
it.
and then he
You can't smile, I can tell.
he was quick to point out, and I know he'd been practicing this, Joe, when poor Joe is. I mean, he's very kind-hearted, and he's just sitting there and he's looking like all of us and reflecting the mood, acting it out.
I'm really sorry. We're there
And then
to apologize and talk it out.
He looks at Joe and says, "I want you to know, I almost laid you out." And Joe's, now I know what he wants to say. He's like, "Listen, you old dick, let's go. Let's do it right now."
What do you say to that? How could somebody say that? I go, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you would have.
I wish you'd
I
have
almost
spit in your
laid you
hands and
out.
said, well, I've got Jack Johnson and Tom O'Leary waiting right here for you, mister. That'd have been great.
Yeah, and
We'll settle this right here.
so we got literally beat up for 15 minutes from Frank Mattress, and then we left.